Hi guys, welcome to Audrey's Reading Area on this Multicultural Wednesday, Multicultural Awareness Wednesday. That's today. Yes, Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me here, and please hit subscribe. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 5 p.m.
All right. Stop. All right. Yeah, I gotta stop it or she'll continue talking. Thank you again for joining me here on this Multicultural Awareness Wednesday. Yes, I have another fun and exciting book for you. Don't forget, hit like and hit share. Share it. You can share it right now. Hit share so that everybody can see me read live. And this is the book I have for you. Yes, Confucius. Confucius. I know you young ones today have never heard of Confucius, but us older folks, we've heard of Confucius. Confucius says, this is a value tale storybook, Stories for Growing Good People, Spencer Johnson, MD. It's written by Spencer Johnson, MD. Confucius, The Value of Honesty. It's also a Chick-fil-A book. It says it's a Chick-fil-A on the bottom. It says, enjoy all 5 value tales. It has many different books. But this is a book written by Spencer Johnson, MD. Wow. It says, an imaginography by Spencer Johnson, MD, from the Value Tales Treasury, based on the original text by Spencer Johnson, MD, and on the original text by Anne Donegan. Book designed by Laurent Lynn, and is illustrated by Dan Andreessen. All right. Let's get reading. Confucius says, and at the end of this, I looked up some Confucius says quotes, so I have a few that I'll be reading to you at the end of this book. Confucius says, hello friend, you're about to read a new kind of story called an imaginography. Like a biography, an imaginography is about real people and events, but it is told in a more fun and imaginative way. You'll get to see how famous people grew into the good people they wanted to become by listening to their true voices. That special voice inside that gives us our best thoughts. Each person's true voice is unique, and yours is too. I hope you like discovering the value of honesty, and that you have fun growing up into the person you want to be. So yes, your friend Spencer Johnson, that's what it says. The Value of Honesty, a value tale about Confucius. So this is the cover of the book. Oh man. The camera. All right, here I am again. Sorry about that. Somebody was calling. I was trying not to answer, let it not disturb. All right, Confucius. Okay. Hello, I'm Sage. You might expect me to say woo woo like most owls do, but I also ask where, when, how, what, and why. I knew a boy who grew to become one of the most famous people in history because he was so wonderfully honest. Who? His name was Confucius. Wonderfully honest. Where? He lived in China. When? Over 2,500 years ago. How? How do I know it? That's easy. You can imagine me as his true voice. The voice inside Confucius that helped him listen to his best thoughts and guided him on his path. Confucius started his journey when he was not much older than you. What? What did he do? Well, let's find out together. Once upon a time in the Chinese province of Lu, there was a boy named Confucius. His father was an old man when Confucius was born, and he was happy to have a son late in life. His father would often tell Confucius how proud he was of him and how certain he was that his son would grow into a wise and honest person. Confucius loved his father dearly, But all too soon, his elderly father passed away, and it was very difficult for Confucius and his mother. Confucius was sad, but he was determined to become the man his father hoped he would be and the person he himself wanted to become, a wise and honest man. Confucius. This is where I, Sage, come in. Of course, Confucius couldn't really see me, but I'm a fun way to imagine him. Listening to that good voice inside of him, his true voice. One day, little Confucius wondered, how do I become wise? I appeared and whispered, hello, my name is Sage. You have already begun. Ask yourself, what is true? In truth, you will find honesty. And in honesty, you will find the best answers. Then Confucius said, I like to read books because sometimes I find answers there. That is good, I replied, but not all wisdom is found in books. You can also learn much by watching and listening. Watching and listening. And Confucius did learn by reading, watching, and listening. When the time came, Confucius got his first job tending cattle. How do I do it, Sage? He asked. I've never done that before. Ask yourself what is true, I whispered. Said Confucius. Maybe I could find what is true by imagining how I would like to be treated if I were an animal and then treat them in a similar way. Confucius laughed at what he imagined and realized he needed to find ways to do his job that were practical. And so he did. He took care of the cows the way he would have liked to be taken care of. Look at that. Look at that. That's funny. The cattle grew happy and healthy and multiplied. And the owner was so pleased that he gave Confucius a new job, measuring and selling grain. On his first day selling grain to the townspeople, Confucius was given some advice from a dishonest seller. There's no need to put a full measure of grain into the bag. No one will be aware, and you'll make more money like I do. But I whispered in Confucius's other ear, what is true? Confucius smiled, and he listened to himself. I would like to be treated honestly, he said, so I will be honest with others. Then he filled his sacks with a full measure of grain. Question at the bottom, it says, do you think Confucius felt good when he was honest? Yes, I think he was. I think he did. Word of Confucius's honesty spread, and many people admired him. One day, a wealthy man asked Confucius if he would become a teacher to his son. Confucius said that he would be willing to teach all who are interested in learning, but that he would only charge those whose fathers had the money to pay, while other children would be able to attend his school for free. Confucius never shouted or scolded his students, but when they misbehaved, he would send them away. I will not force anyone to listen to me, he would often say. Do you think it is good to listen, you guys? You think it's good to listen? That's right. So as a teacher, he sent them away. I'm not forcing anyone to listen to me. Confucius's fame as a great teacher spread, and he would often travel to give his lessons. In those days, people traveled by foot, so Confucius would walk far and wide, spreading his teachings. Confucius gathered many followers, read in many libraries, and even studied music. He learned to play an instrument and how to sing more than 300 songs. Question at the bottom. Do you think it might be fun to learn to play music and to sing? Yes, it is fun. It's fun. Once on his travels, though, something terrible happened. Confucius came to a city where he was mistaken for a man who looked a little like him, but who was an evil bandit who had robbed the people before. The people of the city captured Confucius and threw him into a dark and dirty prison. You are an honest man, Confucius, and surely they will release you, I said to him. Confucius smiled as he listened to himself. He trusted that his honesty would set him free. And it did. Confucius's reputation for honesty had spread so far that people came from all over to speak up for him. The people of the city were so impressed that they let Confucius go. By your being honest, I said to Confucius, others have gone out of their way to speak the truth about you. Confucius's reputation grew so large that he was called back to his home province of Lu and made governor. There he put his teachings into practice by dealing with everyone's honesty. Because the government dealt with them honestly, the people of Lu became more honest with each other, and Lu became a happier place to live. By listening to his true voice, Confucius not only made himself happier, but everyone around him became happier too. Question at the bottom. Are you happier when you are honest and when people are honest with you? I know I am. Even when he was very old, Confucius continued to teach. He would do it by asking his followers questions. The words integrity and honesty both mean telling the truth, he would say. Can anyone tell me which of them must always come first? One person replied, integrity means telling the truth first to yourself, while honesty means telling the truth then to others. I hooted to Confucius. People are learning so much with you. Today, China, like the rest of the world, has changed in many ways, but the wisdom of Confucius is still being learned. One of his most famous sayings was, do not impose on others what you do not wish for yourself. Don't do to someone else what you don't want done to you. Known as the golden rule, this phrase is still used today. Confucius says, now as our story ends, you might want to think about yourself. Does being honest make good sense to you? What you decide to do with your life may be different from the path that Confucius chose. But whatever you choose, you may discover that when you are honest with yourself and others, just like our good friend Confucius, you'll be happier too. You will be happier too. Confucius says. So Confucius, TZU. Confucius was a real person. I'm reading the back now because that was the end of the story. So I'm reading the back of the book, these little notes. It says, Confucius was a real person, and the events in this value tale really happened. True story, you guys. This book was true. He was born more than 2,500 years ago in the state of Lu, which is now the province of Shandong in China. He was the first and only son of Shuling Hai, who was more than 70 when Confucius was born. Confucius believed that life's purpose was to strive to attain perfection within yourself. His teachings were about 4 basic subjects: literature, human conduct, being your true self, and honesty in social relationships. The heart of Confucius's teachings was what he called Shu, which is the same thing as the golden rule. Repeatedly, he said, do not impose on others what you do not wish for yourself. Today we say, do unto others what you would want them to do to you. That's where it came from, Confucius. During his years of study and teaching, Confucius traveled widely through China. Then when he was 52, he was called to office in Lu, his native state, and made governor of Chengdu for a time. Confucius strongly believed that the first duty of a ruler was to be virtuous, and that this would ensure harmony among the people. As Confucius's fame grew, more and more people wanted to study with him. Once he taught poetry, history, and music to about 3,000 pupils. His standards were so high. Yes, his standards were so high, though, he felt that only 72 of his students had mastered these subjects. Confucius died at the age of 72 in 479 BC. He was buried in Lu in an area now known as Konglin, or Confucius's forest. The descendants of Confucius have been buried there for nearly 2,500 years. Kong was the true name of the great philosopher, and Confucius is the way his name Confucius, the philosopher Keong, was translated into Latin and then English. During the last 20 centuries, there have been many other great Chinese philosophers, but none has had as much an impact on the world as Confucius did. For more information, it says on Confucius, visit your local library. And there's a Parents' Corner too. I'm going to read this too. Parents' Corner. Confucius's wisdom was built on integrity and honesty, being truthful to yourself and to others. You can help teach your children the value of honesty by completing these parent-child activities, which they have written here. I don't know if you can see it. They have written here. Talk with your children. Number one, talk with your children about honesty. What does it mean to be honest? And why is honesty important? Number two, help children learn the difference between truth and lies. Use simple statements like, the sky is green. Ask them to decide if this is the truth or if this is a lie. Discuss when is it okay to make up stories and when it is important to be truthful. Number three, remind children to be truthful about the things they do. Ask them what they do if they found a new toy that did not belong to them, and praise children for their truthfulness. Number four, trust comes from honesty. Have everyone in your family sign a promise to be truthful. Post the agreement on the refrigerator or another obvious place. Remind your children that telling the truth is always the right thing to do. And number five, after your children have done some or all of these activities, ask, what does it feel like to be honest? Yes. I love this book, Confucius. It tells you all about Confucius. Reading this book taught me about Confucius, and I've heard so many Confucius sayings. And by the way, I looked some up for you. I have some funny ones and I have some serious ones. So I'm going to tell you a little of some of Confucius sayings that'll make you laugh, and some are serious. So the funny ones are kind of like Confucius say, war not determine who right, war determine who left. You know it's funny. You know it's funny. You know it made you smile. Confucius say, man who eat crackers in bed, wake up feeling crummy. Yes, wake up feeling crummy. Confucius says, man who shoot off mouth must not expect. I can't read my own handwriting. Must expect to lose face. I'm going to read it again. Confucius say, man who shoot off mouth must expect to lose face. Confucius say, man with big mouth, beware of foot. You know why? Because they say, put your foot in the mouth. Yeah. Confucius say, man who leap off cliff, jump to conclusion. Confucius say, house with no bathroom is uncanny. Can, get it? The can? Okay. Confucius say, man who throws dirt, losing ground. Confucius say, man with no legs, cow with no legs, ground beef. Confucius say, cow with no legs, ground beef. Get it? Confucius say, two wrongs not make right, but two rights make U-turn. Yeah. This is cracking me up. Confucius say, man who sneeze without tissue take matter into his hands. Man who sneeze, I'm going to read it again. Man who sneeze without tissue take matter into his own hands. True? Yeah, I'm sure you get it. Confucius say, man who sit on tack get point. Confucius say, man who have last laugh no get joke. Not get joke. Confucius say, man who put face in punch bowl get punch in nose. Wow. I'm sorry, this is hilarious to me. The last one, the last funny one, Confucius say, man who fart in church, sit in own pew. Y'all know that one was funny. I'm going to read it again. Confucius say, man who fart in church, sit in own pew. Oh, man. This is funny. Okay, let me say another one. These are some serious ones that I looked up that is allegedly written by Confucius. It says, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Yes. See, these are the serious ones. Confucius say, choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Confucius. Confucius say, a man who has committed a mistake and doesn't correct it is committing another mistake. Confucius say, better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without one. That's right. That's right. Now I'm going to say one more funny one. One more. Okay, one more. Confucius say, man who eat too many prunes get good run for money. I'm sorry, you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here and listening to me read about Confucius. I didn't know the background on Confucius, but now I know, and now you guys know. Confucius says he was a wise man and an honest man. And thank you so much for joining me here at Audrey's Reading Area. I will again see you tomorrow live at 5. Live, L-I-V-E, at 5. I'll be live at 5. Pretty soon you guys are going to be learning the sign language, right? You're going to know how to do live, L-I-V-E. Live at 5, you guys. Tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, live at 5. Thanks again. Don't forget Audrey's Reading Area on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Do subscribe. Thank you. See you soon.